Hello, this is Dean from Bridgeview Manufacturing, and today I'd like to talk to you about bulldozers. Today's tractors are just so strong and powerful that when combined with a bulldozer from Bridgeview, you can just have one incredibly productive earth-moving machine. The bulldozer is a multi-purpose earth-moving tool, and it is very well suited for ag, industrial, or municipal purposes. They're great for cleaning up farmland. You can gain acres, you can smooth out your ditches, get your water under control, and just gain massive productivity out of all of your other equipment, like your drills, combines, and sprayers. For road building, they're excellent tools for building a road from scratch, or just for road maintenance, or in conjunction with other heavy machinery. They're great for well site cleanup, yard maintenance, yard development, and we've even had guys use them for stripping peat moss for harvest. We came out with the original bulldozer about 15 years ago. It was a 24-foot straight blade machine, and we used it for leveling, ditching, digging, and it was all in an agricultural operation. But we wanted to make it better, and specifically we wanted to reduce its width for road transport, and that required a telescoping axle and hydraulic wings. The problem is the cost and complexity of that as a standalone feature just wasn't quite worth it. We needed more functionality for the dollar, and that's when we came up with the tilted wing axis. What that means is that instead of the wing axis being vertical, we tilted it back, and what that does is when the wing folds forward, it causes the wing to lift and create a nice U shape for ditching purposes. On the contrary, when you pull the wing back behind level, the wing drops, which is great for any kind of terracing or crowning type of work. So the Pulldozer Transformer is so much more than just a bulldozer with a narrow transport. This machine, it just fits everywhere and shapes anything. And you'll find, like in whatever operation you're in, you'll find yourself manipulating the wing angles and the tilt angles just on a regular basis, creating that perfect contour. The other thing is with using a tractor with a pull style dozer, tractors are so nimble and comfortable and easy to move compared to some heavier industrial equipment. And you also have just a perfect view of the cutting edge, as well as, the long wheelbase of the bulldozer just makes it an excellent leveling machine. So there's so many applications where, a tractor and a bulldozer is the ideal unit over maybe some more industrial type machines. So just to look at the wing angles and uses a little bit more in detail. So right now I've got it parked with one wing forward and one wing back just for illustration purposes. When the wings are in their straight position, like a straight blade bulldozer would be, the wingtips are still tilted in at the ends. There's about a 3-foot section on the end of each wing that's tilted forward to create a U shape. And that just lets the machine carry a lot more dirt. In its level position, the bulldozer is ideal for any type of leveling operation, digging ponds, maintaining ponds, any kind of road building, anything where you need that smooth, flat finish. When the wings are folded forward, the wings will fold forward about 40 degrees from level, and they can be used in every position along the way. But as I mentioned, with that patented tilted wing axis, as the wings roll forward, they also tilt up. So that gives you a nice U shape for, digging a ditch and building the ditch from the bottom up. It's just great for that. And the other thing too is because the wings, the machine is narrower when the wings are folded forward, it puts all the weight of the machine on a narrower section of blade, which gives you more cutting force for for ripping into harder types of material, harder clay or whatever you're working in. The machine also tilts on its rear axle in any position. With equivalent to a straight blade bulldozer, when you tilt the wings over, the far corner will dig into the ground and you can start your ditch work from that point. There again, you'll be working from the top of the ditch downwards rather than going into the U configuration where you can dig with a wider section from the bottom of the ditch and come upwards with it. And the third application is running the wings backwards. If you run both wings backwards, you'll create like a crown on a road. You can work on terraces, or any application where you're just working from the top of a ledge and trying to reach over towards the downward side of it. It just gives you that extra flexibility. So, and like I said, the machine is built to work in all positions. There's no off-limits positions for the wing angle. It's built to handle the forces of that, and makes it just a very universal tool. And compared to a straight blade machine, to give an example of where the transformer is a better fit, is just say you're trying to work or clean up the bottom of a road ditch or a field ditch that's between a road and a fence line or a tree line. With the transformer, because you can narrow it down to as low as 14 feet on this 24-foot machine, you can fit down into a ditch that's 14 feet wide, whereas a straight blade 24-foot unit, you can't. You can do a little bit of it, but you can't get right to the bottom of it. So, like I said, this machine just fits anywhere and it'll shape anything. As far as specs go, the 18-foot version of this, called the 1870, it's 21,000 pounds. It'll pull about 18 yards of dirt, and it's useful with normally 300 to 400 horsepower is about ideal for it. Although we have had some people use them down as low as 250 horse, and they've been happy with the results. So it's more about how much of a bite you want to take per pass. And it's a lot to do with the weight of the tractor as opposed to just pure horsepower. The 24-foot, which is called the 2470, is 27,000 pounds. It'll pull 24 yards of dirt, and it's built for anywhere from normally about 400 horse to 620 or 640, like basically the largest ag tractors you can get. So looking at some of the specific features of the Pulldozer, we use a bull pull hitch, which has optional Cat 4 or Cat 5 hitch pin inserts, and it's adjustable in height for different drawbar heights. The nice thing about the bull pull is that it keeps the machine tight to the drawbar. There's no banging and slamming of the pin against the drawbar, which just causes excessive hitch wear, and it gets pretty tiring throughout the day if you have to deal with that in the cab all day long. We also include heavy-duty safety chains as standard. For hydraulics, the Pulldozer Transformers use 5 remotes. There is the main lift and lower, tilt, left wing, right wing, and the telescoping axle. There are electric over hydraulic kits available if you need to reduce that down to 4 remotes. Our hose holder design gives you lots of room to adjust the hoses for your specific tractor. Looking at our gauges, this front gauge is the multicolor gauge, is your main cutting height indicator. Behind that, the main fan-shaped indicator. The top is the wing angle, and it's the angle of the blade relative to the axle. So that's your main angle indicator. The one below it, the horizontal one, is a horizon indicator. So it's just a gravity operated hinged pendulum basically that shows you your relative angle to the earth. Behind that, up on top, the big crossbar decal indicator, that is the wing angle indicator. Looking back down here at the cutting edges, all the Pulldozers are a feature standard. They're replaceable grater style cutting edges, and we offer 2 styles. So this is the optional serrated blade, And the nice thing about the serrated blade is it doubles your force per foot of cutting pressure. So if you've got a 27,000 pound machine, you're dividing that weight over half the width. So you're basically doubling your weight per foot from about, roughly 1,000 pounds per foot to over 2,000 pounds per foot. And that's just going to make it a lot easier and a lot more productive cutting into hard clay. It's going to do a better job, and it's going to take a lot less horsepower to get it done. For other applications, if you're, for snow removal or for road building or just precise grading type of work, our standard straight blades are probably the way to go for that. Coming around back, the main wing angle cylinders are huge. Those are 5-inch cylinders, and as I mentioned, they are built to work the blades in any position. There you can run them with the wings all the way forward, halfway forward, all the way back. That cylinder is going to hold it in place and do the cutting the way you want it to. Around back, these are the main lift cylinders, and they'll lift the blade around 2 feet above the ground and somewhere around a foot below the ground. So that extra high lift height is a great feature because it lets you dump your load there very quickly, and it lets you clear very large rocks. And the other thing too is if you're in the mud, if you get in a little too deep, you'll have lots of lift height to keep the blade out of the ground, so you can have a chance to wiggle yourself back out. As far as below ground, there's lots of situations where your tires are going to be, up on the top of a ditch, and you're trying to cut below that. So we've given it plenty of travel so that blade will drop way below ground level, so you can always work in deeper parts of the ditch. The red locks here, these are the main lift cylinder safety locks for road transport. In here you can see some grease zerks on remote grease tubes. So we wanted to try to make servicing the Pulldozer as easy as possible. All these grease zerks are kind of at chest level, they're out in the open and easy to get at, so you can keep your machine maintained the way it likes to be. Pulldozers do a lot of work in very wet and muddy conditions, and because of that, we run very large tires on them. The Pulldozer, like the 2470, these are 1,000 tires, whereas the 1870 is running 650, so they're very, very wide footprint on them. And it's really important to keep the machine up and out of the mud and stable, as stable as it can be, just to give you better control of that cutting edge. The axle itself is a telescoping axle. Right now I've got it in its narrow position, more of its road position. The 2470, like I said, it folds into about 14 feet wide on the road with the wings in and the axles in. The 1870 comes in right around 10 feet, so it's just as narrower as that quad track is. To put the axle in its outer position, you just lower the blade onto the ground, keep lowering until the axle lifts right off the ground, and then you can just push the wheels out with the other remote. Then raise the machine, then you're ready to go. In the field, it doesn't matter. You can run the wheels all the way in or all the way out. It doesn't make a difference. However, normally you want the wheels out for that extra stability. It's not uncommon in wet conditions. You could easily have 500 pounds or better of sticky clay hanging off the end of that wing, and that really pulls hard down on the side of that wing. So you need like that large tire and that wide axle stance to resist that force and maintain the control of the cutting edge that you want. The 70 series transformers have these new axle guides, and they just provide extra reinforcement to the axle when they're in their extended position. All Pulldozers come standard with road lights and reflectors. And overall, these machines, they're built very well. They're heavy duty. The hitches, for example, are 16 by 16 inch tubing. The rest of the machine is mostly made out of plate, so there's an internal skeleton in there, and it's been perfected over many years of, we do a lot of our own internal testing on our own farm operation. We've run several Pulldozers per year for many years, and we also get all of our customer feedback, and we've just kept improving them till their current state. And these 70 series models have been just really bulletproof machines. They're all finished with sandblasting and powder coating, so it's a good abrasion resistant, good durable finish, and the machines just look great. So I hope I've been able to answer some of your questions on the Pulldozers. We'd love it if you'd give our dealers a call for more information. There's also a lot more information on our website, including videos and spec sheets. And we're confident that if you make the decision to buy a Pulldozer Transformer, you're going to find it to be just a very useful tool for so many applications. Thank you.